Hey everybody, it's ProbablyRed. Are you ready to go over Deadly Sands plus Bombay 32? So, like I said last week, we have built this deck based on Bombay 32's deck list. So we'll have that deck in the description. On their Warcry page for their deck, there's actually a full deck tech, a full explanation of their choices and what they did. And you can also see the differences between the list that we've got here and their list. Please don't let our list deter you from checking out Bombay 32's list. It's an awesome list. Highly recommend you go check it out, just to not see the differences, but just see why I would pick that deck. It's just strongly constructed deck. Only thing that I did is I took out all the legendaries that I didn't have. So we're gonna try to do real quickly. If you don't have it, what can you use instead for some of the legendaries I am including? So far it's Sandstorm Titans, and then I know the Grodov's Burden and the Xenan Temple, one-ofs. And the Makar Stranger, which I pulled out of a pack. Grodov's Burdens I actually created for, this is going to be a quick rambling. I know this is a deck tech, and I need to be jumping into it, but this is a deck tech of a deck that really didn't perform super well, so I'm going to have some fun with it. The Grodov's Burden, I actually built two of them just for this deck. Not this iteration, but for the original version that I'd created, because I've been messing around with it on ladder for a while. It had not been succeeding. But I really wanted to push out this Triple T just to show you what I've been working on lately. So let's go over the cards. We'll do this version, and then we'll take out the Sandstorm Titans and the Ions. We'll keep the market how it is, because one, I'm not super knowledgeable how to build a market like this model. This is completely theirs. This is completely Bombay 32's market build for the deck. So I had a Witching Hour in here instead of the Xenan Temple, even though I did read their article and they said the Xenan Temple is the most important, or one of the pretty much the most important card in the market. I just took it out because I didn't have one, so I went ahead and built one, and I had the Shiftstone. I was like, why not? Okay, so yeah, we're going to take out those in a second. Oh yeah, and Venom Rider. I think Venom Rider's from a campaign. So if you have the campaign, you probably just want to run the Venom Rider. But a Sandstorm Titan, and I believe Ion is not from a campaign. We'll take those out. But let's talk Blister Sting Wasp. This I had spoiled in an earlier video. I said, hey, I'm going to be running this in the next video coming in the future. So I wanted to definitely, that was a spoiler that I wanted to hint at what I was doing. And it is, I saw the card, I was like, hey, this card is kind of like the basis of the deck. I want to have a little bit of pinging damage over time. Want it to fly, that's great. And then Deadly. Deadly is the purpose of the deck. I know maybe I should have been running that 6-drop weapon that when you have a unit that has Deadly, you have Deadly, and then run it with some burn spells and some Vars, favors, that kind of thing. Or even a Divining Rod, something like that. So there was really no point in this deck other than the fact that we got the Predator's Instincts, and we got the good old Striking Snake formation, and the Xenan Temple to run it. This deck is just hoping to synergize with those abilities. Kind of like everything comes together and meshes really well. It was a deck, I cannot remember for the life of me the name of it, of the specific card I'm thinking of, but it's X cost, and it's a time card. It got nerfed a while back, but it comes out with power and, or no, it comes out with attack and health equal to how much you paid. Now it's how much you paid -1. I'd have to look it up to see what the nerf did to it, but and it would be, I think it has Overwhelm, or if it was 5 or more, it got Overwhelmed. Now I'm just kind of going off on this, but that's besides the point. So that's why we run Blister Sting Wasp. No, but Blister Sting Wasp is just, it has everything we're looking for. It's blocks flyers, because flyers is something we're not super great at dealing with. We got Sandstorm Titan, which is kind of, yeah, that's the way to deal with flyers. But it's another way. Rip Knife Assassin. Warcry, so we do have that incremental advantage of getting a big unit on top of the deck. We'll also have an early game, defense, that kind of thing. Like aggro really doesn't like to see it unless they have burn for it. And then they're using their burn on Rip Knife Assassin instead of combining their burn to deal with our Sandstorm Titan if they don't have other types of removal. Ashara, Ruthless Assassin. Another way to get deadly and a little bit of a way to push for damage. Ayan the Abductor. This card is crazy. It is so good. I know it's legendary, but just being able to have a 3/3 ambush for 3 is really great. The influence cost is kind of crazy, and then the ultimate ability doesn't come up that often from what I noticed. But if I was building a cultist deck in Throne, this would be such an easy include. Just boop right there. And then the lifesteal is just a nice added benefit. Overall, a good card, kind of another way to kill units. Cat Burglar. Only hit on this maybe twice in these videos, I think. Maybe once. She's alright. Very situational card. Like, I would think it would be busted against Armory, but if they're not running something that's like a lot of relics, they're not doing anything with it. That's a problem. So, kind of a disadvantage, especially with having lowered stats. A 3/2, But I like the card overall. I think it's decent. We're probably trying to argue why it's good. I mean, if you do hit with it, it feels pretty devastating to the opponent. You might have taken away their game plan. You might have hampered their game plan at least. When you miss on it, it does feel kind of bad. It does synergize with the deck because it's the deadly though, so, and you can get it back and do it again if they got it later on, like their relic. Sandstorm Titan doesn't really need too much of an explanation of why it's good. Now, I'm not saying it's as great as it was day one, or when I started playing right after it came up for open beta. Not super right after, because I played the tutorial, and believe it or not, the old tutorial was not that great, and I kind of uninstalled, and then I started watching Loco Pojo. I got back in because I was like, hey, this guy's pretty onto it, and he thinks it's a great game. That made me think it's a great game, and then I was like, okay, let me just one day get through this tutorial, got through it, and then they just I started playing. I was like, dude, this is the game right here. This is awesome. So that's just a little bit of backstory. Sandstorm Titan. This is like a pretty strange deck tech. But Venom Rider. This is, I just want this card to be good. I feel like it is. It has a lot of pieces to it. A lot of, different stuff going on in the card. But, I don't know if it makes one really good card. This is one of those cards that makes you want to build a deck. Like, it's a forge, just like a Forge Out 3/3 charge. I love that stat line. Like, take everything else away. Like, I'm talking about the Stranger that charges. Forge Up 3/3, Strangers have charge. Like, that, I love that stat line. Forge Out 3/3s with charge are awesome. Not saying they're good, but I would love for one to just be really good. If you give it enough stuff, eventually it's good. So this has got deadly. Really synergizes with the deck. The charge means it's like, they really don't want to block, or they put themselves in a position where, oh crap, I have to block this 3/3. Now 3 isn't a lot of damage. If it was a 4/2, that would be a completely different card. Also, probably wouldn't be a time card. It'd be more of a Shadow Fire card, I guess. Maybe Time Fire. It'd be a Praxis Venom Rider with 4/2 as a stat line. That would be interesting. Anyways, and its ultimate, which it only gets to do it once, but it's pretty great that it gets to. You pay 5 and you get a 1/1 with Deadly and Killer. The two that you're trying to combine. You get it. Just boom, kill something. And you're left with the 2/2 Deadly still, that you can also make Killer and through other means. It does become a 2/2 though, like I said. Really great card. I just am super fond of it. It's fun to me. And yes, something that came up when I was running the original version of the deck with Aramut's Machinations, it's a 5-drop, not a 1-drop, or a 2-drop or a 3-drop. Like if it was something else, it's a 5-drop. Okay, so Crack the Earth. I'm running Crack the Earth mainly because of Bombay 32. I think it's an interesting choice for Throne. I don't know why we don't need maximum power, but I guess because there's just 5-drops that we wanted. Also, it helps with Arc of Soul. If you read Bombay 32's article, they explain in thorough detail some of the inclusions that I'm not talking about as much. The unit base was easy because like most of them were the deadly units I want to run, or Sandstorm Titan and Ion. Those are just great cards. Annihilate and Predator's Instinct. Predator's Instinct, it just goes with the deck. You want to give something killer, even if it goes to the graveyard, if it had Deadly and comes back with Immortalized, you're in a good position to just keep taking advantage of these units, getting them, trading up. That's the big thing about this deck. You want to be trading up. Not just in power, not just in health and attack and health, but also with power cost or tempo, like just everything. You want to be trading up. Annihilate. This card really impressed me. There's some strong single faction cards in Throne. Now Immortalize, always a hit. It's a hit in draft. It was a pretty good hit in Expedition, and in this deck it was a hit. Just like, I don't know about one of the things I've been having trouble with since Flames of Zolta is when to decimate. It's just perplexing and difficult for me. I'm pretty sure Immortalize was in now I'm going to sound like I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. But I'm pretty sure Immortalized was in Flames of Zolta. 99% sure. Yeah, because in draft, yeah. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments below. Please. I'm going to look it up later, but might as well go ahead and comment like, hey man, you were right. Which would be a great thing to hear. Anyways, Banish. This is one heck of a removal piece right here. One thing I missed on a couple times is it can kill relics. It can kill relics, everyone. Also, the art is really interesting. Like you can see a reflection. I'm not super sure. I think I read once what the art is like, what's going on in the reflection of the eye. My guess is something to do with Argent Port getting harsh rolled, but it doesn't look like the harsh roll explosion. I don't know. Another good opportunity to comment down below. Man, I'm having a hard time with some of these spells. But yeah, a lot of things cost 5 or less that you just have to get removed. Fast spell, everything about this card is pretty solid. And the versatility between Unique or Relic is just so nice. He's Isolation. 4-drop, draw 3 cards. All you have to do is exhaust a unit. Amazing spell. Since it came out, has warped people's mindset on draw spells in time. It's a great card. Power base. I did change some things because I didn't have the Crest of Mysteries. I just have always run one Crest of Mystery. It's just until I just get more from packs. It's just the way I'll run it. I don't really know too much about power bases, I'll admit. Markets and power bases are still something I'm working on. So let's go ahead. Oh yeah, and Emblem of Makar is awesome in this deck. That is worth mentioning. And even the Emblem of Grodov, the Exalted, is pretty nice, just to have that little bit of a buff. Other than that, Running Thrones, good old, amazing power base. So, we are going to take out these. We're going to take out these. We're going to take out these. And we're going to keep in our market. And we are going to look for some cards to replace what we just took out. So this is going to take a little bit, but it's going to be fun. So maybe add some of the cards that we didn't include from last time. I really like the Armadillo, but I just don't think it's the power level of this format. Oh, and here we go, by the way. Here is Copper Conduit, the card I was talking about. In fact, I don't even know. Is it good? So let's say you spend 2. It's a 1-1. If you spend 3, it's a 2-2. Okay. It's a lot worse than it used to be, but that's alright. Yeah, I love this card, but it's no big deal. There's a lot of possibilities. I don't think Friendly Wisp is the answer. You know what I was thinking about? There was a Time Flies, I think is what it's called. I think we're coming up to it soon. Where is it? Time Flies? Not what we're gonna run. I was just gonna talk about. I had a thought about that. Magnificent Stranger might not be too terrible. Just kind of is decent. I think it's gonna take me a little bit. There's so many cards in Throne. Okay. Ooh, I like this, but I think it's kind of weak. One thing is like might be melding this with kind of a Marius Mandrake to get some ultimate synergy. Ultimate synergy. We have a lot of options. Oh. Well, that doesn't replace the whole... I forgot we just got one of those from a pack. I just got excited. Trailmaker's pretty decent. Okay, so maybe Xenon's Initiation, but I don't think so. We want a big, beefy replacement unit. This is a good one. Marin Stinger. It's it's not legendary. It's rare, so it's just like being able to just get deadly units. It's amazing. And she's a charge unit, so she kind of has that aggressive edge. I'd have to do some testing to see where this deck would kind of sit after these changes, but what else? So that's the replacement for Ayan. Kind of like not even close, but it's oh, Dawnwalker got nerfed too, but I think the Dawnwalker, Immortalize, all that kind of stuff would be pretty interesting. That seems like a solid pick. And then we got 4 more cards to include. So Sandstorm Titan, Ayan, and oh my gosh, I'm not even going to be able to remember what else we took out. Dang it. It was like 5 minutes ago. Like 2 minutes ago. Anyways, we're going to find a good replacement. So, Eager Offering's pretty decent. Maybe not in this format. Kinda wanna see the shadow cards. Maybe like a... I don't know. Magus is fine. Some of the stuff is just kinda like fillery. Not the place from the Magicians. But having the qualities of filler is what I meant. Rectifier. Silence is pretty good. We have a lot of 3-drops now. Yeah. This deck would be probably pretty bad. But be interesting to kind of see like how good it is as an even deck. A lot of people are testing out some even stuff nowadays. And man, Wednesday Game's pretty good, but I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities here. This is kind of one of my slower videos, you know, kind of chill. Just enjoy the deck building process. Let the mental juices flow. Alright. 12 units. I don't know about that. Let's see. I don't mind Marison's Disciple. It's not very good though. It used to be amazing. It might not be bad now. There's old Sandy. I honestly think that if you have the stone, the shift stone, to build Sandstorm Titan, I recommend building it. It's not going anywhere. I think it's still really great. It's definitely not, like, it's still just amazing. It hasn't been nerfed. It is like where power level is balanced around, time having this unit. But it is definitely, in my opinion, very runnable, very worth grabbing. Oh yeah, Venom Rider, man, that's the other one. Besides Aeon, I think honestly we could just put in a Waystone fragment and we'd be fine. Or maybe Xenan since we can run it. Hey, maybe even this. I mean, we're not super trying to get to 6. We're not gonna trying to get to 6 at all. But it's just a pretty decent card for 5. But it's from a campaign, so that doesn't help. Let's see. Luma Defender. That card's pretty solid. Gives us a little bit more defensive edge at the top end, but you know, sometimes you need that. So this is kind of like some of the alterations I would make. This is just off the top of my head, kind of quick, but it definitely keeps with the theme. Eternal Warcry's a little off theme, but it used to be in the Xenan Killers. If you liked the video, if you enjoyed the deck tech, if you're excited about these videos and you want me to keep doing triple T's, hopefully with a little bit more winning, a little bit higher power level decks, maybe better performance as a caveat, go ahead and like the video, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much. Have a great night. I really do appreciate y'all.